Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to our Q&A.
Y'all ready for this?
You are gonna burn in hell for being gay.
Have you ever had relationships with women?
Hey, don't make this about you.
You come home after school and if you bring Kimball, I've got a shotgun and guess what? Time out. This is a hard question. How long is Rocky's?
So let's get up and go, it's just you and me, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to our Q&A. Oh God, start over.
Well, no, we need full energy.
I've got it ready.
Wait,
and
oh,
20% energy.
Did you plan this while you were pooping?
Yes, I was pooping. I had a spirulina poop, and so I was like super stimulated. All right, here we go. Ready?
Oh.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Rocky and Kimball Q&A. Sing it with me. Q&A. When I say Q and you say A, Q and
A.
Q and
A.
Yay.
Oh my God.
All right, how you feeling, Kimball?
You know, I'm okay. Someone has had a little sneak peek at the questions. He claims he hasn't read them, but how else are they on that paper?
No, I did read them. I did read them.
So I don't know any of them.
Yeah, so the rules of the game are, let's back up a minute.
Why can't we just be like everybody else, do a normal Q&A?
No, so basically what happened is on our community tab, I put out a question 2 weeks ago asking, what questions do you guys have for Kimball and I? And boy, do we have some juicy ones in here. Kimball, are you nervous?
Not really. I mean, one does love talking about oneself.
Yeah. Does one?
You asked the questions, so I don't care. I'm gonna answer them.
Okay, so the rules of the game are, we're going to limit how much time we have to say these questions. Do you have your phone? Because we need an actual...
Yeah, you say these are like juicy, but you're all like, we need to hurry up and answer them.
Well, I don't want the video to be like an hour long because people have like laundry to do. They have to go to the dentist. They have to go to like pick up their kids from some like the pool. Where do you pick the kids up? School?
What do you do with children?
Well, that's part of the question. Do you want to have kids? No! We answered that one real quick.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, so
I need to mix this up.
This right here is our... Where are you going? Kimball just doesn't follow the rules. That's not part of it.
I didn't know there were rules. I didn't know it was a game. Okay.
By the way, can you just take a quick picture of the setup so we can like show everyone what this actually looks like?
I don't have my phone.
I think it's right here. Here.
Oh.
His password is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, it's on.
Okay, great.
It's on my face. Taking a picture.
All right, so the rules of the game are we have a limited amount of time to answer the questions. We're going to give it 1 minute for each question, and if I press this or if Kimball presses it, it means we're done, right?
Yes, okay, question 1.
So the other thing to keep in mind is I'm going to read out the name of the person who left the comment if no one else had that question. If it's a question multiple people had, I'm just summarizing and not listing the name out. So, question 1 from Barton1 2005.
I'm ready for it.
Hello, Rocky and Kimball.
This is for both of us.
Wondering where you guys grew up. Was it Canada or the US in some place? I'm originally from New York City, but no longer live there. How did you meet? Love your channel. By the way, it finally dawned on me that the drawing at the end of your videos was done by you, Kimball. Beautiful work. Well done. Cheers. Chuck in Northern New England. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. Okay, there's a lot of questions in here.
So, where did you grow up and how did you meet?
So, okay, we grew up in Boise. We met in... Why am I answering?
Okay.
I feel like...
So,
okay.
I got this.
No,
So,
let's just talk over each other the whole time.
let's start the timer. Are we ready? So Kimball and I grew up in Boise, Idaho on opposite sides of the town. We didn't know each other until we entered high school, where we entered a 0-hour choir, which is like you go to choir before school starts. I don't know what the hell we were thinking. And we sat right next to each other. There's a whole other story there. If you guys want more questions about that, we'll answer it.
God, morning massages.
Anyway, Kimball was crushing on me really heavy. I wasn't out at the time, but Kimball was like obvigay, so he was just out.
Well, nobody thinks I'm gay. What are you talking?
And yeah, so we started dating our sophomore year, in between sophomore year and junior year.
The summer of...
It was a summer of love.
June 8th is when we officially started dating.
Yeah, so that was that was only a couple days ago. We celebrated 26 years. That's a whole other video. If you guys want to know about that, let us know. And guess what? Time out. That's it. Oh my God, that is piercing. Are you okay?
Oh,
Baby's got sensitive ears. Okay, you ready?
He's
Question
still here
2.
too, right?
Thank you, Chuck. We appreciate the question. And for all your comments, by the way. Ron Boulder 4111 says, it seems you do everything together.
Yes, we do.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Or do you do separate things?
Don't be ridiculous. Yes, we enjoy each other very, very much. We are together every chance we can be together. It's like the only time we're not together is when Rocky has to go to work.
I dread those times. I'm gonna be honest.
It's the worst.
If people from work are watching, I love you guys, but like really, I just want to be with my husband all the time. That's like the long and short of it. And every time I have to leave, when I get in my car, Kimball peeks out the window and he always waves. And if he didn't wave, probably be really sad. And I'd call him and be like, why aren't you at the window?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've really been together for a long time. Yeah, so we had like 3 months apart when we were in our 20s, and then I had an entire year away.
But we were able to like fly and see each other, but it was like only for like if I went to go see him, I could see him for like maybe a week or 10 days.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But you know what? That's the end of that question.
I hate this game.
No, you love it. Okay, Joyce Satane. How do you say that? Joyce Satane.
Yep.
256.
Joyce Tane.
Joyce Tane. Joyce Tane.
Okay.
256. Joyce says, will you ever have your own podcast in the future? I can't really watch and drive, you see.
Well,
I don't want one.
not.
It sounds like more work, Joyce.
I had a podcast in the past, and I didn't really enjoy it. I don't know. I'm not a good conversationalist. I'm terrible. So, yeah.
Even though he has like a live stream every Sunday and we talk for over an hour.
Yes, but he does most of the talking, and like, I'm not very good at engaging conversation, so.
You're doing great now.
I'm done.
Okay, so thank you, Joyce. All right, DJ is pretty. Who's pretty? DJ.
Look at
DJ is
you.
pretty. DJ asks, when and where did you get married? Was there a wedding ceremony, and what was it like? Your videos are super fun. Thanks again.
Okay, so we have been married for 16 years. And I was just thinking, it's very strange that it's only been 16 years that we could actually legally get married in the States.
Yeah.
And that was only for a couple of states at the time. So at the time, we were living in Oregon, and we were in Portland, and they were starting to do gay marriage in Los Angeles. And we were like, well, we used to live there. Let's just go down there. We can invite a couple of our friends, see what happens.
My sister bought us plane tickets because we couldn't afford it.
It was so heartwarming. Like, everyone who could came together to help us. Like, our friends set up like a wedding reception area. His sister got us the plane tickets.
We had a reception at Leslie Bibb's house and she didn't know it. I'm outing it right now.
Okay. Which was lovely. And our friend let us stay with her, like her mom let us stay in her home.
Although they had a tyrant dog that was like a murder dog, and we were sleeping on the floor and it was 100 degrees inside and it almost ate my face.
So yeah, everyone came together to help us out to make it happen. And this was we wanted to get married on June 8th because that was when we got together, but it wasn't legal until later. So we got married on June 18th. So just 10 days after we got together. So we kind of just celebrate our anniversary in between the 2 dates.
And we got married by a man named Frank Woods. And I will never forget his name. And he married us in his prop warehouse. And he was very excited to be marrying a gay couple. I think we might have been his first gay couple.
We were his first, and it was in Burbank, California. And he's like, don't worry about getting into the paperwork. He got all the paperwork for us because a lot of people had to go down to the state, whatever building.
You guys.
And get all the paperwork. And there was just lines of people trying to get this. So he did all that for us. He spent a good 20 to 30 minutes typing it up perfectly until he messed up at the end.
And he was in like an old typewriter, so he was like literally typing like one letter at a time and like looking at it, and then he was like typing another one, and he tore it up at the very last minute when he misspelled Kimball's name or something, and then he took another 30 minutes retyping the whole thing, and I was like, just give me a chicken burrito from that place down the street.
Oh my God, it was so good. El Pollo Loco, I think is what it was. Anyway, but yeah, he had a prop warehouse, which was really cool. I mean, it was really weird, but it was...
perfect for us.
I should I have a picture.
Well, we're just going to insert it. Like, you don't have to find it right now. Just be like, here's the picture.
So our friend, Nick, was there to bear witness. He was one of the witnesses, and so was Rocky's sister, Jamie, my best friend. And so they were there, and it's like it's the funniest picture of him. Like, we're getting married in the background. He's like...
He's probably like, what the hell? But we had a really small ceremony, and we didn't want a big fuss or anything, so our parents didn't come, but we did film it and sent them the video as well.
How's it feel to be married?
It feels really good.
Yes? How's it feel to be married?
Good.
Feels really good.
Better than I thought it would.
Well, and again, it was very last minute, and like a last minute flight from Idaho to California would have been hundreds and hundreds of dollars it would have been over $1,000 for both of my parents to go.
But also, Kimball and I aren't really that sentimental, and we weren't ever really super excited about it.
He speaks for himself.
We weren't really let's get married. It wasn't until...
we didn't want to have a big shindig. It was very much us, what we did.
And it wasn't until we got married that I was really appreciative of the ability to have that happen and what it actually means. I think I was just a bit ignorant beforehand, just because it didn't feel like it was a possibility.
Well, when somebody tells you it's never going to happen for you, you're kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't need that. But when you have it and you realize it means a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, we went over a minute on that one. Sarah Scott 8588 says, "Hey!
You need to tone it down.
This is such a great idea. You're both super interesting, but I'm wondering,
Who's more interesting?
have you ever been to Scotland? I think you would both love Edinburgh. Looking forward to your answers and everyone's questions."
We have been to Scotland. We have been to Edinburgh. That is the only place in Scotland we have been.
I would move to Edinburgh in a second. It was such a magical experience, and it was such a beautiful old city. How did you feel about it?
Well, the first hour we were there, the handle on our Airbnb broke. So we were locked out, and it was like Christmas Eve. And so then we had to call somebody who had to call somebody who had to find somebody who lived an hour away to drive over and fix the lock.
Good times.
So the first impression, I was like, oh my God, not first impression of Edinburgh, just first experience. I was just like, oh my God. After that, gorgeous, love it. I don't know if I would live there. I would live there for a while, a long while.
Yeah. We actually watch a guy who lives in Edinburgh. What's his name? Nicholas Fairford.
Yeah.
If you want to live like a luxurious life, watch Nicholas Fairford on YouTube. He has a cool channel.
He's enjoyable.
We actually filmed a ton of stuff there, so I probably could make a vlog out of it. If you guys ever want to see that, let us know. Before we started our channel, we visited so many places and filmed so much stuff. We just didn't have time to do a channel. So if you ever want to see... Oh, time's up! Sorry, Sarah, you're good. All right.
You lose privileges.
Now here's Rocky and Kimball!
I ring
Fine,
it now.
you can do it, but it has to be up here so people can see it. Plus, it's good to just do a twisting motion. It gets that back move.
I'm not twisting.
Okay. Nitsin4904 asks, how do you meet? We already answered that. We already answered that, Nitsin.
Okay,
sorry.
up.
What's the meaning of Kimball? What's the meaning of Kimball?
Well,
it's certainly a unique name. I've never heard it before. Do you actually know the meaning of your name?
I don't know the meaning of my name, but I know...
The origins.
Yeah, so I grew up in a Mormon family.
Oh, we just unlocked a whole bunch of other questions. Save it for a future video.
I am not a religious person.
Hey, don't answer the questions that are further down.
Okay, well, I hated going to church. I didn't enjoy it at all. It's just not for me. But I met some great people and a lot of friends there. Just... whatever, the same point. My situation, it felt weird. Because they're like...
You are gonna burn in hell for being gay.
And then they're like...
Well, you could be gay, but don't act on it.
It was very weird. It felt phony to me. Anyway, there's a prophet or someone named Spencer W. Kimball, and my parents named me after that person, and that is now my name.
And you know now that you're posting this video and saying you're Mormon, the local chapter is going to come knocking at your door and being like, why aren't you coming to church?
And I'll be like, because I don't believe in it. Okay, bye.
And then you just press the button and then close the door.
The timer wasn't even going.
I know, but it was about a minute.
Yeah, basically I was just named after a Mormon prophet named Spencer W. Kimball.
Perfect. Oh, this is a good question. This is somewhat interesting. I feel like this answer is probably going to be a bit longer than a minute. I don't want to rush some of these.
They all have been.
Okay, John Clark, 1571. John Clark's a good name.
That sounds like I don't know, you're gonna lead a pilgrimage or something.
John, let us know. Curious what you all do for work other than YouTube. I love your videos. Tell us about long hair, how and why, where and when did you meet? How has moving to the UK been?
So many. Okay, so first question.
Yeah, so basically, what do we do for work? So
I do not do anything except love him, pay the bills.
That's plenty, trust me.
Keep the house somewhat tidy. Some days better than others.
So when Kimball and I first, I'm gonna give you guys a backstory.
Yeah, it's a long road.
So let's start back when we were 16, 17, and we decided we were like,
We're done with Boise, Idaho now.
and we basically moved down to LA and moved into a 460 square foot place in North Hollywood, California, and we supported ourselves by doing a paper route, like worked at Jamba Juice.
Life was simpler then.
Was it? And basically, we struggled a ton through our teens and like early 20s, just because we didn't have a lot of money and we were trying to make it work. And we moved like back and forth and like all over the place. Like we moved back to Boise, back to California, up to Portland, back to California, and just all over.
We moved a lot.
We discovered pretty early that Kimball was not into like working in the public space at all. And I'm kind of a provider in that way. I like to work and I have to be busy. And so we really liked having more time together instead of having like 2 jobs. There was a lot of people offended by this. I don't know why.
It's not like it's not like I was like, Rocky, you're going to work and I'm staying home. It was never that. We've talked about everything. But also what I could do at home, I did. Because I did at the time do a lot of art commissions, which I didn't enjoy. I just don't like interacting.
Don't ask him for art commissions.
Like, some of them were great, but some of them just were, people can be difficult. I'm sure everybody knows this. So I did bring home money that way, but...
And now, I mean, fast forward, I'm grateful to have a very good paying job, and Kimball does all the things that I don't want to do. So he covers all of the bills and does all of the house admin and stuff like that.
But by God, if there is a phone call to be made, he'll make it.
Okay, well...
That's the one, I'm doing that.
But I think we have a really good balance of life now, because when I'm done with work, we can spend as much time together as we want, and we're not like competing with schedules and things like that. So we can travel, we can do a lot more things, and
Right.
Kimball can just focus on doing his art whenever he wants to.
Well, and I try to make his life a lot easier too, because, you know, he doesn't have to come home, he doesn't have to make dinner. I keep the house clean, I keep his clothes clean, put them away. Like, and I know those are like simple things, but also if you're working a full-time job, you don't want to come home and do that, especially if you're a couple, if you have a family, like that's a lot.
No, and
So-
Kimball and I in general just have the most respect for each other, I think, and so that stuff would never bother us. I think that's all we have to say about that.
That's all I got to say about
What
that.
else was on here, though? We have, tell us about the long hair. How and why?
So
How and why the long hair?
I'm pretty sure mine comes from, I've always wanted to have long hair as a kid, and my dad would always take us to the barber, and it was like, you're getting a flat top like everybody else. And I'm like, why? I hate it.
Did you have the bowl cut? Did you ever have like the...
A little bit, but it was usually like the flat top. And then my mom started cutting her hair, and she would like let it grow out just a little bit longer. But for whatever reason, mine only got to just like a mini mullet. I couldn't have like long hair.
Yeah, but were you like attracted to longer hair guys when you were younger?
Yeah, because I always liked the skater type. I liked the vampires. I was very into like the emo gothy thing too. Not myself, but like I was attracted to it. So yeah, now I just let my hair grow. I hate, like, I think I look better with short hair.
Hey, Kim.
Do I look so butch? But I hate keeping it short. I hate trimming it up all the time. I hate putting product in it.
Same.
Like, it's so much more work than put it up, ponytail, and walk out. I know I look like frazzled Virginia Woolf, but I don't care.
I think that genetically I have long hair because my neck is actually really thin, and so I always liked having longer hair because it like hid it a bit or like framed my face better. But my dad also had longer hair, and I feel like I tried to do things to like model myself after my dad slightly.
You know
maybe.
what's kind of funny is that like you're following in your footsteps and I'm like rebelling because my dad was like Navy and he always had like short cropped hair and.
But that makes sense because you still have your dad. If my dad like was alive when I was in my teens, I'd probably be doing the opposite of what he was doing. So yeah, I think that's the how and why. And also I have a skin condition called seborrheic dermatitis. So if I put things on my scalp, like product, I break into a huge hive, and so I just couldn't have short hair because I can't do anything with it, and it just gets all frizzy. So having long hair at least weighs it down. That's the why.
And I have psoriasis, but it's gotten a lot better over the years.
I thought I broke it. All right. So, oh no, that's not aesthetic. All right. So, next question. Johnny5676. These are great names.
Yeah.
What jobs do you guys do?
I'm a homebody, homemaker, home whatever.
We did talk about your job, taking care of me, which is a big job. You guys don't even want that job. Kimball needs a raise, to be honest. You could really raise some interest there. So what jobs do you do? Okay.
You just sum it up into one job title.
Let's break this down. So I was working for IKEA in 2014 for about like 10 years or so. I was working in retail, and I was like designing and selling and like building kitchens and things like that at the time. And they had this program called IKEA Home Tour, which was like a traveling makeover show where they were having like actual IKEA coworkers with no experience in like making content go on the road and like film content, design spaces, and like select people to be recipients of this program. And we would go in and like design spaces and film it all and make all this content.
You can still see it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not, if you guys want to see the videos, it's called IKEA Home Tour. And so I did that. And that was when I left Kimball for about a year, and he would have to come visit while I was on the road because we were basically traveling all over the US doing these makeovers, and we would move to like a new city every 6 weeks. That was the start of my journey where I was really starting to take a career turn, and I was starting to like take more leadership and like doing something more than just like retail at the time. Because when I was working retail, they were like, you should be a manager, you should do this. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get paid more. I just want to like live the simple life and like whatever, work 9 to 5 and like whatever. I started taking risks. I started doing things that scared me. I left Kimball for a year. It was really hard. The second year I did it, I was like, I'm not doing this unless you come on the road with me. So I brought Kimball with me and we lived in a hotel. My sister took care of our cat. And then the third year I was doing it, our cat came and lived in the hotel with us as well. And then basically I got a call from the woman who had hired me for that IKEA program. She had moved to a company in Baltimore and was like, hey, I want to do an in-house studio just like we were doing with IKEA. Come help with that. So I came and became a content producer for like a global herbs and spice company, which I still work for.
But we were like this close to moving to Sweden.
Yeah. So I was applying for 2 jobs at the time because the IKEA home tour program was ending for reasons I won't get into.
You were leaving.
And I was applying for a photo retoucher on the IKEA catalog, and it came really close to me taking that job. And then the folks over at my current job called me, and I'm glad I did that. That was a really cool move, and it opened up the opportunity for me to come to England because our internal studio in the US was really successful and saved the company, money. And they said, hey, we want to do the same thing in the EMEA region. And our office is in the UK, so will you help with that?
Almost came this close to moving to Singapore.
Yeah, so basically Kimball and I came to the UK so that we could open that studio. My budget was really small, and Kimball actually helped me build the entire space. So we built all the kitchen that we had to do because essentially what I do, I know this is a very long answer, I'm just trying to give you guys a backstory here.
He does a lot.
So basically what I do is I'm like a content producer in its simplest form, I'll just say that. So basically I am responsible for an entire studio. So I have like coworkers that are like food stylists and photographers and producers that we make content for food, for social media and digital channels. I won't get into the specifics of like what company it is and all that because, just whatever. But they're a great company to work for and I love them and I'm so grateful for all the opportunities. If you really want to know more, I'm sure it's on my Facebook or something. You can go look it up.
Stalk him.
But yeah, so we get to do like shoot food and all that stuff too, and it's great. So we get to okay, we're done. Are you introverts or extroverts?
If it isn't obvious, I am an introvert.
So Kimball and I are, if you look at horoscopes, we are on the opposite sides of the wheel. So I'm an Aries and he's a Libra, so we're literally across from each other. I think we're very different in a lot of ways. I'm very extroverted, he's very introverted. However, the longer we've been together, the more we've come to like a center point, I think. I think Kimball has become more extroverted and I've become a little more introverted. So I think we're kind of...
Are we converted?
Excuse me. Kimball and I in general just have the most respect for each other, I think. The things we do have in common are probably the more important things. Like we have a similar taste in music, in food, in what we like to do, things
Movies,
like that.
Yeah, what we do in our spare time, our hobbies. We're both into like the arts. Rocky does a lot of music. I do obviously visual arts. So, yeah.
We're into each other. Like into each other.
Thank God. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Stop right now.
That wasn't one of the questions. You guys, no one even asked like no one even asked if we were Kimball, you ready for this?
Right.
How are you going to answer it?
Y'all ready for this?
I'll answer it if you don't want to. Did you move out of the US because of Trump or Biden?
Well,
what I will say is we would never let some old white man dictate what we do with our lives.
right. I was going to say we didn't move because of either of them. We've wanted to explore the world, basically. And, we're still going to be US citizens. Like, we're not giving up our citizenship or anything. We just wanted to explore the world, and it just happened to be at that time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought, they're like leaving because they're just tired of America. That has nothing to do with it. Like we adore America.
Right. There's a lot to love, and there's a lot to not love, and that's about any country you're ever going to go to.
That's true about here too. Like no matter where you are, there's always ups and downs, and there's corrupt things happening. No matter where you are in this world, I don't care if you're in Netherlands or Norway. Okay.
Like, leaders will always be. They'll always have corrupt ones. You'll always have good ones. You just gotta hope the good ones can win out.
What was I gonna say? Thank you. That just distracts me more than anything.
Baby. Find it. Where is it?
Let's find it together. But ultimately, we spent 40 years in America, and because I was with that IKEA program, we literally went to like almost every state and lived in those states. At a certain point, we really wanted to come to Europe, and it was so expensive to fly back and forth that when the opportunity came to live in the UK, I feel like I should this is more questions from John. Johnny had a lot of questions here. Is life better in Europe or in the US?
I wouldn't say it's better or worse. I would say it's fun and new.
And it's different.
Right. There's things that I do and don't like, but that's in any country.
Do you love new sets of challenges and different processes and things to figure out? Come to the EU!
And nobody to help you, and they just tell you to look online or check an app. The UK is for you.
Do you like admin and paperwork and months to get a recycling bin?
Things move at a different pace here. You get like a different way of life. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not gonna say it's slower. It's not more relaxed necessarily.
My life certainly isn't slower. I think I've worked more here than I ever have.
I think it's that we can drive 10 minutes and be in the countryside and go on a beautiful hike. And I know you can do that in some places in the States too, but we always live in the cities. Can't afford the city here, so it's not an option.
But we're an hour away from London. We can get on a train and go to Paris, like we can go to Belgium.
Right.
There's just so much accessibility. We feel super grateful for that.
So yeah, not better or worse, just different.
This is in shouty caps,
Big
by
one.
the way. Are you guys religious?
Not at all.
No, we definitely don't want to offend anyone in answering this question. It's a very personal question, but we said we would answer all the questions. So no, we're not religious, but we are we're fairly spiritual. And I definitely believe there's some kind of universal energy or something that is with us. I don't know how to explain it, but I definitely feel like there's something.
Yeah, when I say I'm not religious, I'm not putting down religion. I just am saying that organized religion is not for me. That's what I mean when I'm not religious.
Have you ever had relationships with women? No.
Hey girlfriend,
We
let's go shopping.
we were friends.
I've made out with... Oh my god, speaking of making out with women though. So we used to do extra work in Los Angeles. We're in a couple movies. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you can see us. Anyway, there was one TV show that never actually made it to air. His sister and I, we were cast in it together as a couple. And I'm like, oh, this is fine, whatever. And then the camera starts right on us and they're like,
you guys need to be making out you're totally just can't get enough of each other.
I was like, what? So the first take, we're blah, 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 going at it, right? And then when they were done, they're like, hey, cut. And I was like, I don't think I can do that again. And she's like, mm-mm. So yeah, we faked it after that, but No.
So who kissed better? When did you come out and why?
Okay, for me, I'm pretty sure everybody knew I was gay. I mean, I just denied it because it wasn't the norm. Nobody else was. It was one of those...
Kimball also had a gay brother and gay sister.
Right. My sister wasn't out though. My brother was. Everyone already knew I was gay. It was not a secret. But I wasn't comfortable coming out yet. I had trouble just saying it out loud. When I was 13, my dad called me into his office. He had a copy machine and I was printing some comic books that I wanted to trace and color and whatever. And he was on the computer just kind of behind me and he's like, hey, Kimball, can I ask you something? He's like, have you seen this picture before? And I turned around and it's a picture of two naked men. It almost looked like an Abercrombie ad. And I hadn't actually seen it before. And I was like, no.
You're like, have you seen it before, Dad?
Instantly, I'm like, oh God, is this a trick question? What's happening? He's like, okay. And then he's like, well, are you gay? And I said, yes. I was like, okay. He's like, does your mom know? And I was like, not yet. And he's like, okay, well, just let her know. I was like, okay. And then I walked out of the office into the other end of this room. It was a very big room. And my friend was there and I was like, oh my God, I just came out to my dad. And he's like, did you tell him about me? I was like, don't make this about you. So anyway, after that I came out. I was 13 and my brothers were like...
Anybody picks on you, let us know.
My oldest brother was like...
If anybody picks on you, let me know.
So I was like, okay. Because I was the youngest of 6 and they're all kind of...
He gave me that same speech when we were first dating, by the way. We're at his apartment and he pulled me aside. He's like, if you ever...
Yeah, he's 10 years...
My brother.
He's 10 years older than us.
So my coming out story is a bit different. I was already dating Kimball for quite a while. My sister didn't know. My sister had a crush on Kimball at one point. She's like, is Kimball seeing anyone? I was like,
yes.
Yeah, back
he
off.
is. I had told my mom I wasn't gay and lied to her because I was too nervous. And I just didn't want to disrupt things at home. I didn't want to make anyone upset. I didn't want, to be in an environment that I was just uncertain. However, Kimball and I had been dating for quite a while, and we used to love to go out and do photography a lot. So we would take our friends out on town and we would do photos and stuff like that. I had multiple albums just full of photos we had taken. And Kimball's mom used to like give us money to go to the Walmart 1 hour processing lab to like process all of our film because it wasn't digital at the time.
It was so fun.
Sure, Jan.
This is back in the day.
We get coffees and look at photos.
And so one day while I was at school, my grandmother came over and my mom and her decided they were going to go through the photo albums in my room to pick out a picture to blow up for my grandmother's birthday. And they got to a page with Kimball and I making out in a parking garage. This one. And my grandma's like, oh, who's that like young lady? And I'm sure my mom just like slammed the picture shut. Now I'm at school.
It's during lunch hour.
It's in lunch hour.
We're in the theater where he is not supposed to be.
My mother called the school and somehow, you guys, my mom, I don't even know, figured out where I was and was transferred to the theater room. And Julie Gisasola, one of my dear friends still to this day, walked in the room and she's like,
Rocky, your mom's on the phone?
and I will never forget my mom. You come home after school and if you bring Kimball, I've got a shotgun. And then I remembered I was worried about my stepdad because I just didn't know how he was going to react to it. And I remember he got home from work and I'd already like had a huge like row with my mother and my sister was there.
Oh, and she got in trouble too because mom thought that sister knew.
And my sister didn't know and she was like, you kept this from me? So my stepdad got home. I was just so nervous of how he was going to react. And I remember he sat down, he's like,
You bisexual, transsexual, what?
and I was like, I'm gay. And he's like,
All right.
He's like, cool, I got shit to do.
basically, I'm sure he knew. And now my mom and Kimball just get along like gangbusters. Love and support. That's all we need is kids coming out. Why the shirtless thumbnails all of a sudden? This is all from John. Johnny had a lot of questions, guys.
You know, it all started with like Rocky. I've been telling Rocky, like, you know, it looks like we're a travel channel and we're not. It's literally like a day in our lives, but it just happened to start while we were traveling. And I was like, Rocky, let's just do one on a Saturday, or I think it was a Sunday. And I was like, let's just film what we do. And it just happened to be on the day that he does his chest workouts. He'll go shirtless and he does his workout in the kitchen.
We had a week off because I was really like busy with work, and I asked the community to pick from 4 different thumbnail options, and they picked that one. I was like, okay, so I'll use that one. And then that video got like 11,000 views, which you guys, our normal video count right now is like maybe like 800 to 1,000.
Yeah, I would say between 5 and 1,000 just to play it safe. But
And so, I mean, we're grateful for any views, and we're also close to like 1,000 subscribers thanks to that video. That video
Yeah,
got
it's
us
crazy.
300 subscribers. That is the main answer to that question, because
I was like, Rocky, titties out all the time. Like, you have to. Like,
if it helps people click the thumbnail and like find the channel and like the content that's in there, then whatever. So anyway. Do you want kids?
Like-
Do you like kids? Do you want kids, Kimball?
okay, that's
wanna-
a pretty big question there.
Kids?
So growing up, my mom had an at-home daycare and loved the kids. They were lots of fun to play with. I myself am a kid. Mentally, what am I, 12?
I can concur.
I'm very torn. Like, nobody wants a serial killer, right? Like,
You don't know what kind of kid we would
you
produce,
just
guys.
want like that loving, caring, wonderful child, and you don't know if you're gonna get that.
When Kimball and I were actually just talking about this yesterday, we have never been interested in having children,
Yeah.
and I think part of it is because there's so much to life that we want to do that doesn't involve children. There's a lot of traveling, places we want to go that like financially we couldn't do if we had a kid.
Also, just mentally and physically, no, thank you.
Basically, I was asking Kimball the other day, like, what would he regret when he's 80? What does he think he's going to regret the most? And like, it wasn't not having kids. It was just a conversation that came up of like,
Right.
I wonder if we're going to regret it. Yeah, I think the only reason we have been thinking about it more is because we're in our early 40s now, and we're thinking like, okay, when we're in our 80s, there's really not going to be probably anyone else around.
But at the same time, that's not a good reason to have a kid.
Not to me. Right now, we just don't feel like it's for us. So
Right. I mean, I would love to have a child of our own and like raise it and just see bits of our
they
personality.
better be
coming
cute
out.
and they better be nice.
I don't know. It's really weird though, because our friends now have like high school graduates.
Little landmarks of time reminding us how old we are and little
Crazy.
lines on our face.
But they're all amazing kids. Like, I've met a lot of them. So, good job, friends. Next.
So, Kimball, this is
Yeah.
probably the hardest question. I'm not even
Oh
kidding.
God, is it favorite movie?
No.
Okay.
Are you ready? This is literally one of the hardest questions that you guys had. This is all Johnny's question. So Johnny, thank you for all the good questions. Last question
I
from
have your
Johnny.
spirulina crap on my legs.
So Kimball was actually going to wear a different yellow shirt today, and I was mixing spirulina into my shampoo, and I got it all over him. Just so
he was
everyone's
like,
aware.
I'm gonna shake it up, but he like opened the cap and closed it and sprayed shampoo all over the place.
And I wasn't filming, so I was kind of upset. Anyway.
I was so angry.
Okay, here's the question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV.
This is a hard question because there's a lot of good
It
shows.
changes all the time.
Okay, what's this year, 2024? You have to pick one, only one.
I mean, the one that I've watched the most and the only TV show that I've ever binge watched is Two Broke Girls.
I'm sorry, Golden Girls and Will and Grace.
Okay, well,
So
yeah.
Kimball's answer is Two Broke Girls. I think mine
For
would
now.
probably be Miranda.
See, yeah, there's so many good ones.
If you guys haven't seen Miranda, I highly recommend giving it a try.
Anything that's funny, I love cheap comedy. I don't like the serious thriller, suspenseful, anything.
Kimball and I can't watch anything serious anymore or anything longer than like half hour. Lately, our attention span is like gone.
Also, there's enough stress in the real world that I don't need it coming from TV.
Yeah. Amanda Ryan 6450 says, Kimball and Rocky, my question to you is, how are you getting on with the English dialect? You guys, there are some English accents where, like, oh my
Yeah.
god, when we were on the train going to France, what was that guy saying?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What I Train. I'm Hannah, one of the crew members travelling today, and I'm expecting crossing time is 35 minutes. We can be a minute, this is the journey. Please speak to the crew member passing your carriage.
Also, I'm just I think it's amazing how people hear oh, you're from so-and-so, I can tell by your dialect. I'm all, what? What are you talking about? But yeah, apparently people can pick up each other's dialects very easily.
I've also noticed that people want us to be from Canada. They're like, oh, you guys from Canada? Joyce Smith 8354 has a snarky question.
Okay.
When you two grow up,
Oh God, when is that gonna happen?
where in the world would you like to live and settle down?
Girl, that is the question.
Right?
So I think we were actually just talking about this too. So
Joyce, where are we gonna go?
right now in my life and since forever, I've been very attracted to large cities and skyscrapers. That's my jam, and I absolutely love New York City. I want to try Bangkok. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little intimidated by it. Because again, the accent dialect thing, that'll be a struggle for me, but I just really want to experience that. But also, I want to go to South Korea, a couple Busan and Seoul. Usually when Rocky and I travel, we'll fly into Seoul, and then we'll take a car or a train or something. We'll travel to the three major
Mind you,
cities.
we've never been there, but
Right,
if we
right.
did, we would travel around.
Right, we would go to the major cities and stop on little cities on the way, so we get the best of both worlds. Tokyo and Osaka. There's some places in Japan I want to visit.
So what Kimball's trying to say is when we travel, we do it Hannah Montana style.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you all watch the condo things in Bangkok and just oh my God.
Kimball wants to get one of the high-rise condos with no bugs up there, and
They're
you have
so
a pool and a gym and
beautiful.
all the little workspaces and
They're incredible. I would love that.
Kimball would deal with the twice a year stomach bug just to go
Yeah,
there.
because hello, everything is in that building. You don't have to leave if you don't want to, but I would. But oh my God. Pools, gyms, luxury,
You're done. By the way, I don't know where I want to live. I'm just going to leave it at
Oh
that.
yeah, I don't know. We
no
just
clue.
want right now.
We're really interested in France.
Yeah, I was gonna say right now it's France because that's all we know.
Everywhere we've been in France is just stunning, and Italy. I don't know, Joyce.
How dare you, Joyce?
God. Love you.
Let's move on.
All right, Amber's Corner 2.0.
Hey, girl.
This is upgrade. It's not 1.0, it's 2.0. Says, Kimball and Rocky, do you identify more with a feminine personality or a masculine?
Feminine. I was talking about you. No, I'm definitely more feminine. I like the feminine smells. I mean, I wear pretty much neutral clothing, but I love feminine fabrics and prints and textures, but I don't really wear them because I'm not comfortable in them.
I think more feminine things. When I was a kid, I remember I really wanted a tisket, a tasket, a flower making basket, which was a thing that you press Play-Doh through and it comes out as flowers. But I got a Tonka trunk and this little Rambo guy with a machine gun.
But did you take all of your cousins' Barbies and dress them up and pose them in the giant dream house and
No.
live that world? See,
I actually think I'm more masculine.
you definitely are.
I don't know. I define what masculine and feminine really is. I don't really associate things with masculine or feminine too often.
I just think it's really funny that a lot of people associate vanilla with a feminine smell. Because I'm do you walk into a bakery and be this is the most feminine smelling bakery in the world? It's
Maybe.
really bizarre bizarre to me. I don't know, like that people do that, but yeah, it's.
But I think like what people generally consider feminine and masculine, yes. Kimball would be more feminine, I'd be more masculine.
And it's really funny too, because it's like, we looked at a lot of different fabrics and we both saw that and we're like, that's the one. I don't know why I'm going off topic. So
That is not part of this question.
That was nothing to do with decor, Kimball. Move on.
There was a question we had from multiple people, cheeky people on this, and it was, how long is Rocky's work contract? It's actually until 2027 or until they kick me out, is what I keep saying. So our visa is until then, and Kimball's here on like a spousal visa. So yeah, I'm basically planning to stay until they're like, bye, or until I find, something else that's...
Right, I wonder how the renewal process goes.
We'll find out. We could get into some territory that could offend some people, so if we do, it's not our intention.
I don't think too many of our viewers get easily offended. I think he would have said something by now.
Brits seem to be quite pessimistic about the direction of the country since Brexit. Do you think it's warranted? Have you noticed a difference in the quality of life?
We haven't met too many, we have a few friends here, and none of them are really happy with Brexit. Some of them voted for it, and they were pissed because we were just lied to.
What we're getting from it, and we haven't done a lot of research, and we don't read the news all the time, but the general sentiment we get is they were sold a very big, very wonderful sounding idea that just didn't really pan out. And so then you have hits, rise in cost of living, in groceries.
The cost of living here is way more expensive than what we've paid in pretty much everywhere we've lived in the States.
Yeah, so we're definitely paying the most now than what we've ever paid. And
it's one of the smaller places that we've lived.
Yeah, we're still very grateful to be able to afford it, but our heart goes out to a lot of people who were already struggling before all of this, and then this happens. And people are having to work multiple jobs and, or go back to work, things like that. It's not a great situation.
Yeah, I think beforehand, I don't know if it was free, but shipping between here and the continent of Europe, was, it's so expensive now.
They're paying taxes on everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they can't make everything here. They're a small island, so they have a limited availability of what they can make. So this is, again, just our ignorant point of view.
This is just from the little bits that we've seen and stuff that we know or whatever, but it's not fact, but it's the people that lived here have said they're not happy with the way things are going.
My thought on it is I think nationalism can be a very enticing thing. In America, for instance, it's a very big thing for people to be we love America, and America's the best. And I think a lot of countries feel that about their own country. You know what I mean? And so I feel a lot of people in Britain felt that way too, and they really wanted to own everything themselves and not be under whatever the union was saying they had to do, and they wanted to have their own voice and not be pressured by that. So all that stuff makes sense to me. It just is the reality of it is it's meant a really hard time for the people who live here.
Yeah, see, I've never wanted to shy away from a helping hand. So
yeah, clearly.
I'm
anyway.
That's why it didn't make sense to me.
Don't hate us. Thanks. Or do, whatever, it's fine. Eric Behaghill? Question! This is the guy with the really cool top hat.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah.
You don't remember? Eric, I don't know how to say your name. I'm so sorry. Question, when are you coming to Belgium? Want to meet you guys.
Huh.
Girl, we were just there. Where were you?
We were there.
We went to...
Antwerp and Brussels.
Yeah, so basically every year December is a slow time for my studio so I can get some more time off. And so Kimball and I like to do a big trip during that time. And so this last year we went to Brussels and then all the way up to Amsterdam. And visited a bunch of cities. So if you want to see those videos, they're all the first videos of this channel, basically. Mm-hmm. And it's why our channel looks like a travel channel. It's because I traveled for a whole month with Kimball, and we filmed every day.
Lovely.
We had been to Bruges and to Ghent as well, and we loved those places too. And the people in Belgium and the Netherlands absolutely adore them.
Except for that guy at the supermarket, you know who you are.
You know who you are. You little...
Turn around and whack me and glare at me. I don't think so.
So I don't know. We'll probably be coming back eventually. It's a fairly close trip to make. We're getting to the end here, Kimball. There's only a couple more. This is a comment that happened in our first Amsterdam video.
Okay.
VanMan05. He says, you guys are too much fun.
Oh, thank you.
Great video. Really well done with the sound effects. What equipment are you using to film and edit? Super professional.
That is such a Rocky question.
So the very ironic and funny thing about this is in my regular life as a professional, I actually use professional cameras to film content. When it comes to this channel, I cannot be bothered, y'all. Okay, if I had to pick up a camera on my day off and like film, I just wouldn't do this channel. And also, when you're out vlogging, no one raises an eyebrow when you have your phone out, but the minute you bring anything out other than a phone, they think that they're being like surveyed, and they get really like on edge. So I also don't want to make people feel uncomfortable in public, and I want to feel like I can film whatever I want. Also, the iPhone's footage when you film is a much smaller file, and it's much more manageable for like a small laptop to edit on. So when I started this channel, we didn't have any equipment of our own, and I didn't want to use my work stuff, so I basically invested in like a new phone.
I got his old one.
I invested in a new phone, I invested in a computer, and like we spent like a couple grand basically getting the channel up and running, which we will eventually make back. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. The thing is with iPhones is you can shoot in a way that is like a high quality format called HDR. That's like I won't get into it. Different editing softwares, you can do a lot more like color grading and things like that to make it look a bit more cinematic. But ultimately, it's all still the same compressed video footage. The other cool thing about the cameras is because they have stabilization in there and they're small, I can do a lot of shots smoothly that I can't do with like a big camera without a gimbal. And like you're not gonna see me walking around with like a selfie stick or a gimbal, because when Kimball and I go places, I just don't want to have a hassle to get things up and running.
Right.
Because the more I have to do, the less I'm out of the moment.
Right, and also, I was gonna say, just carrying the extra baggage, like, nobody wants to do that.
I know, we already got our baggage, okay? Oh yeah, so I use the Adobe Suite, which, I mean, it's fine. I like it because it's all integrated, so I can do, as you guys notice, I do a lot of sound effects, I do a lot of like photoshopping all the time. Basically, when I sit down to edit, like whatever random stuff pops into my head when I'm watching, I have to put it in. But basically I've been editing since I was a little boy. Like I got my first camera when I was 13. And
oh my God, the way he used to edit, insane.
Yeah, so back then we didn't have, it wasn't digital, it was all on these little, VHS tapes. Yeah. And I basically, in order to edit, had to film on my camera and then run an RCA cable, okay, the red, white, and yellow ones, from my VCR to my camera. And then I would take my filmed footage, put it in the VCR and play it back and hit record on my camera to like make the edits.
Who figured that out and who has the patience?
Kids today, if you're complaining about editing, just get out of my face. So there was a general sentiment across many different comments. I won't put a name on this, but the idea across multiple videos was like, why didn't you visit any gay bars? Why didn't you do the gay nightlife? Did you just miss it, or was it too like exciting for YouTube? Things like that. Yeah, so Kimball and I have never really been into the gay nightlife or the gay scene, I guess. I don't even know what the gay scene is.
Here's an example. So
here's a for instance.
When we were in our 20s, we experimented a couple times going to like, let's go to this club, this dance club, this bar. We did it a few times. It was fine. It wasn't amazing. We didn't like love it. Obviously not enough to go back. So.
I think if I was single in my 20s and I was like wanting to find other gay people, probably going to those places would make sense. But like I just was with Kimball. I had no desire to be with anyone else. So I just, to me, there was I didn't like feel like I needed like to go dance to like feel free.
Okay, first off, we're really bad at dancing.
That's very true.
But also I dislike the smell and taste of alcohol. I don't like the smell of cigarettes. So that's, kind of a turn off. But if I was looking for a partner, I wouldn't go to a club to do it because that's not something that I personally enjoy. I would find my partner like in the coffee shop or something. So, and that's like just a personal thing. But like, obviously, if you love going out, it would be great to find somebody who'd love to do that with you.
I will say, when I see videos of people like doing those things and like dancing and having fun, it seems like a really good time.
Mm-hmm. I love queer as folk.
Yeah, and
like obsessed.
Even like people who go out and like hook up with people and do like sex parties, whatever they want to do. Like I think that's like cool for them. I think it sounds really exciting and like sounds like very freeing, but it's just not anything that Kimball and I ever like were into. We just because like he said, we don't smoke, we don't drink, we're not looking for a partner or like to have sex with other people. So
and also there are already so many people that do showcase that in their videos. I mean, I've seen some Amsterdam videos where it is just that. It's like just night videos of them going to different clubs and bars and
which is cool. Whatever.
Yeah, it's just like it's just not our thing.
If you want to watch people go to cafes and like just like walk around the street and not know what they're doing or what they're talking about, watch our channel.
You're welcome.
Okay, well that was just a long ass question answer. You guys, we're getting down to the wire here. Second to last question. In touch with Bert J. That sounds like a talk show.
I know. I was like, wait, are we in touch with Bert J?
In touch with Bert J.
Bert J, are we in touch?
I can almost hear the theme song. Go ahead.
Flapping wings.
Okay.
I don't write jingles.
Show us more hair care. Do you do anything special to maintain the long manes?
Oh my god. Okay, so speaking of...
We have a depressing answer to this.
pros and cons between the US and the States. Between the US and the States, between England and the States, the water here is much harsher than what we're used to in the States, like in the places that we've lived. I'm sure there's hard water in some of the places. So yeah, we got here and our skin became very flaky and dry. Our hair became very brittle. It feels like if you've ever over bleached your hair.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it feels like that, and it's very upsetting.
It is, like, because our hair used to be really slick. Kimball's hair especially used to be like long, sleek, curly, like just like glorious.
Like, yeah, when
And-
my hair gets, like, my hair was down to my butt, and it's like long waves of hair. Right now it's ringlets because it's like shorter, but as it gets longer and heavier, it turns into waves, and it's very shiny and gorgeous, and it's just lost its luster since we've moved here.
Well, that's why I was putting spirulina in my shampoo earlier. I'm sorry your shirt had to pay the price, but I'm just like desperate for whatever I can do to fix my hair. See how this came
Yeah.
full circle? Final question on this paper is from Thirsty Tuna Taco.
Delicious.
I
Yum.
think that might be one of my favorite YouTube names. Who does the replies, Rocky or Kimmy Boy?
He does.
Remember how Kim doesn't like talking on the phone? It's kind of the same thing. He doesn't want to talk to you
I
guys.
don't like computers. I don't like sitting down and typing stuff. Like, I have my art channel, and so I talk with people there. And also, I'm in some art groups already, so like I'm commenting and conversing with people there. And I just didn't want to add this to like.
Also, I'm like really chatty with people because right now we're fortunate enough to have a smaller channel, and so I can actually manage like talking to every single person and not just putting like an emoji response. Like, and I can actually like respond and ask questions and learn about people, which I think is really cool.
And it's not like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. It's, to me, I'm like, okay, we're done.
And I also, when people subscribe to the channel, you can be sure I'm going into your channel and like seeing who else you subscribe to and like want to know more about you.
Yeah,
if you're a
yes.
musician, I want to like hear the music you're doing. Like, I'm
Yes.
so fascinated by the people who subscribe to the channel because we're so appreciative of all the people who have subscribed. And like right now we're nearing about 1,000 subscribers, which if you're not aware, YouTube basically allows you to monetize your channel once you get to 1,000 subscribers. And so we are just like really excited to make tens of $20s of dollars
A year.
every year by being able to monetize our little channel. But our goal ultimately is to get up to 100,000 subscribers. We are very far away from that. And just hearing 1,000 subscribers may not sound like a lot, but it's, I mean, to us, it's huge because I was thinking it would take up to like 18 months to get there. And because of that random topless thumbnail video, we're gonna get there much sooner. And so I wanna thank everyone deeply who has subscribed to the channel and continues to support us and who likes the content. I will say, when we started doing this channel, we had no clue if anyone was gonna like it. We are finding a lot of people do enjoy it and it brings them some kind of joy, or they can travel to places they can't necessarily travel to, or it inspires them to travel. So it's doing a lot of things that we were really hoping it would do. And we just really love and appreciate everyone who has taken the time to support us. And Kimball feels the same way, even if he's not responding to the comments. I know he feels very grateful for everyone who supports us.
I make him read them to me.
Good job, go team. So if you guys enjoyed that long ass question and answer session, feel free to give the video a like, and if you guys like the channel and everything you're seeing, please give it a subscribe. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers and we're really wanting to get over the line there. So if you guys know of anyone that you think would enjoy the video, please consider sharing it as well. I know that's a big ask. Share the video! But yeah, thanks for coming along the journey with us, and we hope you guys have a beautiful week, and
Thanks for showing some interest. That's much appreciated.
yeah.
All right.
And with that, we'll see you in the next video.
I hate it.
So let's get up and go. It's just you and me.
Back to one. Blah, blah, blah. Love it. Blah, blah, blah. Lighting. It's that you just move around, motions. We're setting up lighting for a good time. I'm Rocky, I'm thinner, I'm poised. I'm creamy.